is Thursday I got calls from listeners saying, we called Ron Paul's office. Of course, it wasn't Ron Paul. He hadn't heard about it yet. And they're saying it can't be real. And so I had to explain to them, send them to the site, and I said, I'm not going to call Ron at home. I've got his home number. But I said, give this to him. We don't make stuff up. You know that, right? And they said, no, we all know you and like you, Alex. And I said, good. It's real. The state police officers' names are there. Call the number for yourself. Confirm it's real. Because I got slapped around for 3 or 4 days, and folks are still saying I made this up, Chuck. It doesn't matter if the state police and state reps say they talk to the head of the state police. You know, they're still, the establishment's still trying to deny this.
Well, that's incredible, because all anyone has to do is call the toll-free number and talk to the state officials there in Missouri, and they won't deny it one bit. In fact, they will defend. They'll just say that it's been misconstrued and people
we played recordings of it.
Context.
We've even played recordings of them on air. People say that's not real.
Yeah,
go ahead.
They don't deny it, but they don't deny it, is my point. I mean, they will readily admit that it's legitimate, and for the most part, they stand behind it. And as far as Ron Paul, you're right. At first, I'm sure that the people in his office didn't probably believe it. As when I first heard the story, when somebody, told me, said, "Hey, have you heard the story coming out of Missouri?" And I said, "Oh, no, they didn't. They didn't do that." I mean, that's the first thing you think about. But then whenever you start to look at it closely and you realize, hey, it's real. This is not make-believe. Then you can begin to do something about it. And, of course, this letter that we have co-signed, Bob Barr, Ron Paul, and myself, and I'm sure by now is on the way to the governor's office there in Missouri, in which we give him 3 days to come out and repudiate this document. To take
Chuck,
it down,
do you have the letter in front of you, the former presidential candidate Chuck Baldwin?
I do have the letter.
Hey, I'm going to sit back here. Will you read that on air, please?
Well, it's a little over 2 pages. You want me to
go ahead, read it? Yeah, let's read it. It's important.
All right.
First time here, exclusive. Go ahead.
All right. Dear Governor Nixon, the 3 of us write you as former presidential candidates, as concerned citizens, and in the case of Ron Paul, as a sitting member of the U.S. House of Representatives, and Bob Barr as a former member, 1995 to 2003. We bring to your attention a most disturbing document being circulated by the Missouri Information Analysis Center, MIAC, over the seal of your office and your name as governor. We respectfully demand that the following described document be immediately removed from any and all websites associated with or maintained by the state of Missouri or any agency thereof, including the MIAC. That the said document no longer be circulated by the state of Missouri or any agency thereof or associated therewith. That the state of Missouri repudiate its references to the 3 of us as contained therein. The document to which we refer is identified as follows, and a copy enclosed herewith. And, of course, it's the MIC Strategic Report dated 2/20/09, and it's entitled The Modern Militia Movement. 4 names appear on the masthead of this document: Jeremiah W.J. Nixon, Governor; John M. Britt, Director, DPS; James F. Keithy, Colonel, MSHP; and Van Godsey, Director, MIAC. The aforesaid report is imprinted at the bottom of each page thereof with the following designation: unclassified, law enforcement sensitive, close quote. It would be difficult, Governor, to recount in any letter of reasonable length the nonsense and inaccurate information contained in this so-called strategic report, which concerns purported analysis of the modern militia movement, in quotes. The report draws links between white supremacists, anti-immigration persons, people opposed to gun control, those who do not favor the Federal Reserve banks, and much more. Were the report nothing more than a nonsensical diatribe penned by some uninformed person, we would certainly not take our time writing this letter. Although we might respectfully suggest you might want to question why such nonsense is of interest to and being disseminated by an agency connected to the state of Missouri. Our concern, which we believe warrants your attention, however, is found at the top of page 4 of this document, after the heading Political Paraphernalia, as follows, quote, militia members most commonly associated with third-party political groups. It is not uncommon for militia members to display constitutional, and that's a misspell because it's Constitution, not constitutional, party, campaign for liberty, or libertarian material. These members are usually supporters of former presidential candidate Ron Paul, Chuck Baldwin, and Bob Barr, close quote. If it is the intent of the state of Missouri to link three legitimate former candidates for the office of the President of the United States, who also happen to be a sitting member of the U.S. House, a former member of the U.S. House, and a Baptist minister, then this document clearly does so. And this is the basis for our demand that the document be removed, its distribution and any actual implied adoption by the state of Missouri stop. If it is not the intent of the state of Missouri to make such a link or implication by and through the appearance and distribution of this document, then we similarly demand the document be removed from any and all websites maintained by or associated with the state of Missouri or any agency connected therewith. That's a state issue an immediate and unequivocal repudiation of the document. In view of the fact that there are indeed real criminals present in Missouri and many legitimate matters of public safety on which your office, the Department of Public Safety, the Highway Patrol, and even the MIAC should focus their attention and resources, we respectfully assert that spending any time, resources, or effort on the nonsense contained in or about this MIC strategic report constitutes an irresponsible and inappropriate use of official resources. We stand ready to discuss this matter with you at your convenience. However, the action respectfully demanded in this letter is requested within 3 days of you receive this letter. In the meantime, with kind regards, we are very truly yours, Ron Paul, Member of Congress, Republican candidate for President 2008, Bob Barr, Member of Congress 1995-2003, Libertarian Party nominee for President 2008, Chuck Baldwin, Minister, Crossroad Baptist Church, Constitution Party nominee for President 2008.
Okay, I would just add to that they start out with a page listing cop killers. And then they demonize the militia, connecting it to that. Then they connect violent militias, which basically don't exist and are constitutional, the nonviolent ones, to basically the majority of the American people. Pro-Second Amendment, pro-sovereignty, pro-border, just you name it. They basically say people with these bumper stickers are dangerous. They may put a hole in you. That's the totality of it. And it's a guilt by association, broad brush demonization, and it's slander and libel of the highest order. And that's why they kept it secret.
If they do not repudiate this forthwith, I feel confident that there will be legal action ensue. And I can tell you this, too, that the Constitution Party and hopefully the Libertarian parties in the state of Missouri are likewise sending off similar letters with just those exact implications in mind. In other words, the letter that we wrote was representing the three of us because we were named.
Okay.
So that was
tell us how this letter got wrote. I mean, you got Bob Barr, Ron Paul, and yourself on the phone. The Declaration of Independence was supposedly written by a bunch of people, but we know it was mainly written by Thomas Jefferson. So, I mean, who was the Thomas Jefferson writing this letter of the three of you?
I think it was primarily Bob Barr.
Okay, so Bob Barr is the Thomas Jefferson here in this, but you guys, you and Ron Paul, Congressman Paul, and yourself, Dr. Baldwin, agreed with this. Did they, in the conversations on the phone, talk about carrying out legal action themselves if this isn't repudiated? Because, I'm glad you guys are doing this. You have to. This endangers the tens of millions of Ron Paul, Bob Barr, and Chuck Baldwin supporters and fans. And we've got confirmed reports on video, police pulling people over for Ron Paul bumper stickers in Las Vegas and places. So this is dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this talk about the essence of freedom. This is the essence of freedom. Whenever state police agencies begin pulling people over for political opinions, and that's exactly what this is. If you support Bob Barr, Chuck Baldwin, Ron Paul, that's a political opinion.
And that's what the report is. For those that don't know, and I'm keeping it up because it's key, this is given, they say, MIAC report is for them when they pull people over. This is to profile. This is for harassment. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so when we start profiling people because of political thought, political ideology, this is what they did in Nazi Germany, what they did in Stalin's Russia, Mao's China, the whole nine yards. Is your identification with a particular thought or particular idea means that you are a threat to the state. That is the antithesis of everything that this country was founded upon. And if we don't stand up and resist this now, it's only going to grow.
Absolutely. Chuck Baldwin is our guest. I have the head of the VFW coming on at the 8 after, but we'll have Chuck with us until then. Obama saying cut off the health care to the troops. You cannot make this stuff up. Chuck Baldwin is our guest. And notice, everything we cover here now goes huge in the media. That's because this show is exploding. Liberty is exploding. Our movement is exploding. Stay with us.
Recognize that sound? If you're taking vitamins and minerals in pill form, that's exactly where many are ending up. Hello, my name is Dr. David Friedman. According to the Physician's Desk reference, vitamins in a pill form are 10% absorbed. So for every $100 you spend on vitamins, that's $90 you're flushing down the toilet. In fact, orderlies at hospitals call these bedpan bullets. Start absorbing the nutrients you swallow. Introducing Chews for Health, a delicious tasting chewable containing 16 superfruits, sea vegetables, and antioxidants. Stop paying for nutrients your body doesn't use. Order Chews for Health today. 1-800-210-1922. The first 300 callers will receive a